Alright, so continue on the rack install. I think I've come to a conclusion. I'm going to go ahead and grind the input shaft to match it, and here's why. I don't think anything else is wrong with this rack and pinion. I think it's 100% matching the stock one. I've done turns on both of these, and it's full lock, 2.5 turns on both these racks, the same spot. So they're the same turn, so I know the ratio is the same. I've verified that the thread count and the diameter of the threads is the same. And like I said, everything else is identical. So I paid $90-something for this. I'm about to gamble my $90 and possibly, hopefully not, ruin this this rack and pinion. I don't think I am. I think we're going to be okay. So after I counted the full turns, lock to lock, I divided that in half. So it's 2.5 turns lock to lock, which means center would be 1.25 turns. So this was turned one time, and then 0.25 would have been right here. So this is the same. So I did it on this guy first, starting in the same position. So one whole turn, that's one turn, and then 2.5, stop there. And the notch ended up being right on the back side of that turn. The notch actually levels with this right here. You can see that. Whether that's a coincidence or not, I don't know. I've taken the rack and I've positioned it back onto here and looked at the angle from where this was taken off the car, because right now the steering wheel is straight on the car and I left it straight. So I'm going to take this. Well, when I place this under the car, it does line up to where the steering wheel is. Now it's probably going to be off. There's no way I can get this exact perfect 100%, but that's what the tie rod adjustments are for getting the car lined anyways. I just don't see a reason why not to do this. I don't really want to spend money on a new steering shaft. There's nothing wrong with this one. It's brown and it's old, but the you can see the rag joint is fine. There's no play in the U-joint at all, so it's solid. There's just no reason why to replace this. I want to use it, and I want to get my money's worth, so I'm going to gamble. You can see I've already marked a line on where I'm going to start grinding. I'm going to grind this down with a flat, hard grinding wheel. I'm not going to use a flat wheel because that's not going to make a solid cut. I don't have a machine shop. This is just me doing what I do because I'm an idiot sometimes. But anyways, it's got to go all the way down. You'll notice this groove is ground all the way down to all the way through the splines, and I'm gonna have to do the same here. Another thing I noticed is that the groove right here, I'm not sure if this is going to be an issue or not, but this is it says tapered for the bolt that goes through and locks it in. This is not. So I don't know, man. Now I'm looking at that, I'm just thinking, even if I do get the U-joint in, the rag joint in here, I'm hoping that that bolt's gonna successfully go through here. So I don't know. It's got to slide. It's got to slide down on it. Let's see where this actually is. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be fine. So what happens if I screw this up? Let's talk about that. Okay. So let's say something goes awry and I can't get this shaft on. I completely ruin this. And then what? Can I take it to a shop? I could take it to a shop and I get the input shaft replaced with the correct one. I can cut my losses and scrap both of them, and then look for an AutoZone or O'Reilly one. But I don't know, man. This is just what I do. It's here. It's in front of me, and I like to use what I have. I don't really want to spend money I don't really have to spend if I don't necessarily 100% have to spend it. It's not a safety concern. I think once it's on, it's going to be completely safe. But I don't know, man. I'd just say let's go for it. That's the only difference between these two racks. This one's notched. This one's not. Notched, not. There goes nothing, I guess.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Okay, I'm definitely not a machinist, but with a grinding wheel, that's pretty good. I wish you could see actually how flat that is. Take some reflection off of here. So anyways, it has been ground down. And sorry about the reflection. Anyways, it fits good. That's on. Okay, so it is on, and the splines do match. You can see that it kind of slips up, slips back down. We'll lock it down tight and get this back into the car and try to get the rack at least sitting in place. So I've got the rubber bushings here ready to go. These are not going to stay on the car. I'll have some polyurethanes hopefully here tomorrow that we'll replace it with. This is going to be mock-up, and I'll have some tie rod ends coming. So
Hey, Daddy, your parts came in.
what parts?
The car parts.
Woohoo! Yes, I came home and we got boxes on the door, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be everything I need to finish the rack and pinion. This should be the move joints and energy suspension bushings. It really helps to have two hands when you do stuff like this. Moog. Is this one of them? I guess this is probably just one. This is one. So hopefully it's all here today. Maybe I'm missing a side, but anyways. Yeah, man. That's one quality made tie rod in. And in here, this feels pretty heavy. There's no way this is suspension or bushings. It should be other tie rod in and the energy suspension polyurethane bushings. Oh no! Oh no! Well, it's just the other tie rod end. The big box for just tie rod end. Nothing in there. So, can't do anything until the bushings come in. So that kind of stinks. We got, unless they may be coming from a different carrier, not to look, but cool. Tie rod here, at least I can put these onto the rack and get it measured out. Alright, so still waiting on the polyurethane. Square. Show me your gloves. Oh yeah. That's right. You got big boy glove on, right? It doesn't really fit, does it? It's kind of big, isn't it?
How come?
Because you're a little guy. Okay, so we got the move parts. I'm just gonna kind of get them on and get them to the length we need. I'm not gonna tighten them down all the way, but I can at least pull this out here. Yeah, Bubba. This is gonna hold a lot more thread. Alright, so we're going to assume that that is in center with this. And we're going to screw this on until it reaches the black line here. Okay, almost there. I had this lined up to the Zerk fitting, the grease Zerk fitting here, so I'm gonna back out this nut some more. Up some more. Too lazy to get up and get the right tool. Okay, I'll save everybody the pain of this on video. I got my helper here learning how to use a wrench. That's it. Keep going, buds.
I can't.
Like this. Okay. Okay, so I got it lined up from end to end. So it's going to get me close. Hopefully it'll keep my alignment good enough to drive it to the alignment place to get aligned. But anyways, there it is, and it's marked on that end and on that end. So I don't know. That's my way of getting the length the same as the other one. So we'll see what happens. Just got a shipment in. The last shipment. Got my polyurethane bushings in for the steering rack. So man, last component I need to put this thing in. So let's put this bad boy in. Okay, so we got the polyurethane bushings in. This will stiffen it up a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of grease on them before I put them into the unit. Okay, we're going to throw a little bit of grease on these guys. Alright, I got that side in, that side is loose. Before I got that side tight, I lined up the steering shaft. And of course it's a little dark right there, but lined up the steering shaft, got it kind of started, so it should now slide up in it. Come on, there it goes. Fuck. Okay, so I just about beat the shit out of the car. I got the rack in and then realized I couldn't get to the lines. And tried to get the whole rack out. One of the lines split on me and spilled and all over my jacket and all over the floor. So everything, all my tools and everything are covered in nice slippery fluid, steering fluid. So I had to pull everything back out, try to get the lines hooked in. I eventually just let it all drain out. At this point, it was just not even worth trying to save the fluid that was in the reservoir. It just all drained out. So, anyways, after really seriously wrangling that thing back in and wrangling the steering back in, I managed to get the bolts in and torque down. Notice that it's gotten kind of nasty back here, but I've got it bolted in. And I've got the outer tie rod just kind of hanging there. So that's the next. We're going to put those guys on and grease the fittings and then get the bolt back on the steering shaft and hopefully clean up some of this mess and get the thing back on the ground. So I know when I was tweaking on that outer tie rod right there, it twisted a little bit, so I think it got out of alignment. So I don't want to forget I've got to bolt those down. So anyways, we're going to torque down the ball joints, put the Zerk fittings in and grease them up on both sides, and then I'm going to lock down the tie rods and put steering fluid in. Pray to God it all works. Nose. Okay. Alright, that was tight. Let's go to the other side and we'll grease it up. Alright. Now I'm just going to torque down the tie rods. Alright. Tie rods are torqued. Alright, we're going to throw a little bit of grease in here. Basically you want to grease it until the grease starts oozing out of the boot. Okay, so I went to grease up the fittings. That's really the only thing left to do before I can put it on the ground. I tightened up the steering bolt and it was just as much of a kind of a pain to get back on as it was to get off. But I got it on. And now I'm going to put some power steering fluid into the car, run the engine. I made sure I put back the spark plugs that I took off, but of course the power steering pump is empty because I let it all drain out. So we got to fill that up and turn it on and turn the pump on to make sure that there's no leaks in those fittings. It would really suck to get everything down and down the road and realize that I got a leak. So let's check it out. Oh, let's see, all this crap over here. Hey, let's go. Okay. We're going to want to kind of turn the steering wheel. Going to lock the lock. Okay, kind of turned it to lock the lock and it's still got fluid in it. It's gonna burp out all the air, but I think we're good. Let's see. I think we're good. Some of it's still kind of wet from the putting it on, so keep an eye on it. Hopefully it doesn't drip, but otherwise it feels good. It's cold outside, so the engine surges a little bit, but all right.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Okay, man, it is done. Finally, the rack and pinion has been replaced. I'm gonna back this car up and take it for a test drive. Looking at the wheels, it does need an alignment. Look at it. So,
Audio Jungle.
pretty obvious when I take this for a quick drive. It's gonna be kind of flaky. But I'm gonna end this video. We'll let you know how it drives. Cheers.